Welcome back, Inebri-art. It is your faithful host, Andy, as always. Today, joined by Sean Griffin, who's got a new solo album out on April 17th called People Are Mad. You're based in New York, right?
Yeah, so I'm in
Yeah.
Kingston, New York.
Okay. So what's it?
Kingston is the first capital of New York. So it was established in
Oh,
16.
really?
Yep, it was established back in the 1600s. It was originally called Wiltwyck. It was a Dutch settlement, and then they wrote the New York State Constitution there, and they incorporated New York State in my neighborhood,
No
directly
kidding.
across. Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. We were just talking right before that. I live in Plymouth, and one of our other podcasts we do kind of like local history and points of interest, and yeah, I love stuff like that, especially because our host is really good. She does it once in a great while, but she'll tell you this story that she's researching, and then right at the end she'll be like, "Yeah, none of that's probably true," and you're like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's like unconfirmed, and it could just be all like, bullshit."
Legends.
Yeah, and you're just like, I went on the ride. I love when she does it. It's super fun. But I love.
Yeah, very fun. Yeah, so yeah, we moved up from the Bronx about 19 years ago. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we settled in Kingston, and yeah, we've been really happy here. It's a great music, art scene. So many people from the city have moved here, so it's been great.
I love that. But it's still close enough that you can get to the city and do city things.
Yeah, yeah, you can. I can walk to a bus and be in the city in under 2 hours, so it's
Oh,
nice.
that's great. Yeah, yeah. That's why I love living, like 30 minutes south of Boston. Is like I can, hop in my car and be like worst case scenario rush hour, be there like an hour and a half and catch a show or see the Bruins or whatever. Um, so what brought about the solo album?
Well, I've been in the Ruffians, singing in the Ruffians for since 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost a couple guys in the band. Our fiddle player had passed away, and
Oh,
our
I'm sorry.
thank you, and our had passed away as well, kind of over a certain period. And I just had songs. As a songwriter, you have songs, and you want to see the light of day. And I was trying to coordinate with everybody. Hey, when can we get in the studio? When can we do it? Um, One of the guys in the band has always kind of recorded our stuff in their basement, and I just really wanted to step up the production value and just have no excuses artistically. Like, I just wanted to be able to say, here it is, no excuses, artistically satisfying. So that led me one step, and the next thing you know, I'm in the middle of recording an album and finishing an album, and got to work with a producer, Kenny Siegel, who I'd always had really admired his work, with Langhorne Slim and his band Johnny Society. And it was just kind of a dream team. He helped bring in some players. I brought in some players, and then we had Paul Caldery mix it, which was amazing. He'd done the Pixies albums, and he had done the first two Radiohead albums, and
Oh,
then
nice.
Greg Calvi mastered it. So he had done like John Lennon and the Ramones, and
Oh,
David
jeez.
Bowie, everybody. So it was like, literally, I was just at a point in my life where I'm like, I want to make a record with no excuses and work with people I've admired. So I did.
That's fantastic. How would you? So the Ruffians is Irishy, like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
people call it Celtic rock, they call it Irish punk. It really depends on who you talk to. Some people just think of it as Irish folk, with
yeah.
lots of whiskey. So
Well,
it just
that's the way it should be.
kind of,
Do you
yeah.
feel your solo album is a departure from that, or are you kind of like still staying in that genre?
I mean, my influences are certainly, I feel, more represented with this. So I think some of the songs come across as a little bit of rockabilly, some more bluesy. I've always had a lot of I've always been influenced by a lot of like the Britpop scene, and
Yeah,
a lot of bands like Smiths and Oasis, Suede and Clash, and so I feel like some of those influences got a chance to breathe a little bit more on some of the songs. Because there's always, when I'm doing my stuff, it's always like, well, how is this going to be received at the Irish scene? So
yeah.
I'm trying to, I've been, people who like the Ruffian stuff, I don't think they're going to listen to this album and be like, oh, it's radically different, but there's some different things. I have like a sci-fi kind of surf punk song called Space Girls, which I think is certainly a little different than our usual kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a new genre. I actually we worked with, oh my god, I'm gonna blank on their names too. They're a horror rockabilly band.
Oh, like a psycho horror bill, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Billy kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I can see their album over there, but I just can't remember for the life of me what they're called. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry. But I just love that kind of like weird stuff, and I've always been drawn to like more, different eclectic. I feel like anytime something I like becomes popular, I stop listening.
Sure.
And I grew up. My father was big into Irish music, and then the whole family got into Gaelic Storm, seeing
Yeah.
them tour around a lot, and then I got more punky and drop kicks. Of course, you have to be. You can't. You're kind of required to listen to drop kicks if you're from Boston, whether you want to or
Sure.
not. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
Flog and Molly and all those, but it always I found it interesting how like for whatever reason Irish music and punk always like really just gelled together, whether it's that working class vibe or like yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reason for the overlap. Folk music means of the people, right?
Yeah.
I always felt like punk rock was a reaction to the decadence of the 1970s. So you took a lot of people who took a lot of like, in my perspective, 50s music and kind of made it faster and taught themselves. So it came out of the garage. It was for people and it was more simplified. So like it's still a folk tradition.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and obviously Irish music is a folk tradition, rock and roll is a folk tradition. There's a big Irish influence on country and rockabilly and a lot of those early through Appalachian music. So there's a lot of like mixtures of things. So I think there's a lot of Irish overlap in a lot of those things. But I really like that I try to keep my songs pretty simple from a chord progression perspective. I mean, obviously I had phenomenal players. I had some really amazing instrumentalists on it, but I also know that someone can sit down, look at the lyrics and probably figure about four chords to make them work too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And that's
I
I've
like
been
the participation in music.
the what, sorry?
I like that kind of participation in music. I don't think music should just be for like I growing up in an Irish tradition. It's kind of like everybody would have what they would call a party piece. Didn't matter
Yeah.
if you were a great singer, right? Like I'm one of five kids. Every one of us had songs that we would sing at a family get together. It'd be like, oh, come on, Maggie, sing your party piece, or Katie, or Mary, or
Oh,
whatever.
that's cool.
So everybody had a chance to kind of
Yeah.
do. You tell stories, you tell jokes, you sing, and like that in the kitchen kind of session. So that's kind of what I came out of, and you know, so if you go into a pub, there's obviously traditional Irish music. You have jigs and reels, instrumentals, and people
Hmm.
singing. And then you hear some old timer who's like, you know, going on whiskey, and he's really like belting it out in the corner of the pub. It sounds very punk rock. It's like really like, oh yeah, he's going for it. This
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
because there's no amplification, and you're screaming in a pub, and you're getting into it, and it's rowdy, and
Yeah. And it's
maybe
not necessarily in key, and but
yeah.
like the emotions there. Yeah. And it's
I tried
music.
to sing a key on my record. I promise I did. I promise this
Yeah.
time I did. But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, music is such like a participatory type thing when it's played in public. Like there's a pub near me, and they have music 2 nights a week, and the whole place is singing, and everyone's involved, and it's very it's such a small place that like the musician can't help but like talk with the people who are like essentially standing next to him, and
yes.
I love that stuff. It's
What's the name of your local out there?
it's the British Beer Company.
Oh, cool. I'll have to come. I'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
All right, cool. Come on a Tuesday. Tuesday's the
All right,
night.
cool.
And it used to be so it started off as this little tiny super dive, and it's on a side street downtown, and like its capacity's probably 30, and there's usually like 75 people in there.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's exactly what you want. And then as the owners like grew their business, they started to open up like real restaurants, and now they've gotten older and sold off those, so now it's back down to the original one, and people will walk in and they'll be like, oh, is the kitchen still open? Like, we don't even have a kitchen, man. It's I just love that. And
Good.
it's and like weirdly, I mentioned Gaelic Storm. I saw them perform downtown Plymouth a couple
Okay.
years ago. It was so, like, the people just didn't get it. Like, at one point, the lead singer's like, everyone should stand up for this song, and people stood up, and at the end of the song, they all sat back down. And we were up in the cheap seats, like hooting and hollering and having drinks and dancing around, and like I just, I don't know. I guess there's music that you sit and watch, but like, that's not that music.
Yeah, I mean, it's always better when people are dancing and getting them going, of course, you know.
Are you going to
Um,
be touring to support this album?
yeah, I'm piecing something together right now. I know I should like have all of these dates. Like, yeah, you just had to ask me this. I should have them right here in front of me. I'll get yelled at later by my wife,
Yeah,
but
we'll get your
no, but
website at the
yeah,
end or whatever.
I've got about I'm piecing together kind of shows between April kind of through September. So I've got probably about 15 to 20 lined up at this point.
Oh, very
You
cool.
know, and I'll be doing more. Yesterday I'm building a stage right now. I'm
Okay.
kind of I'm building like this portable stage for myself, like out of wood. I'm making it look kind of like a combination between like a tiny 6x6 stage, like a one man, but I'm trying to make it look like almost like a vaudeville kind of meets toy theater vibe.
Okay.
So I just made the panels yesterday. They look like really nice, like cabinet looking doors, and I just found the right color of deep dark green. And yeah, I'm kind of making that because I'm planning on doing a lot of those types of things in backyards and house concerts, and I'm thinking of doing a lot of guerrilla shows too, just like showing up, you
Oh.
know, like a day before until the cops come.
I love that. And it's every once in a while you see stuff like that. And we have like a little corner downtown, and it's always, random people just playing, their instrument. And, sometimes they get hassled and sometimes they don't. And to me, that's kind of like that punk rock. Like, we're just gonna do this in someone's backyard, and if the cops
Yeah,
come, the cops come. And
that's my hope. I have AAA. They do bail bonds, so that's good.
how has your experience changed as so there's a little bit of
Yeah.
a thing about this. So my youngest, for my birthday, made me a shirt, and it's the AARP logo, but it says American Association for Retired Punks.
That's awesome.
So how has your experience changed over the years? Like,
Well, first of all, I stopped drinking 13 years ago,
okay,
so
that's
that
makes
was
a
a
big
shift.
difference.
Yeah. Not that I wasn't like a raging alcoholic. I was a person who enjoyed a pint, but playing as much as I do, you do 100 shows a year, and you have 4 or 5 pints at a gig, or people are endlessly being so kind and sending up shots and drinks. And I mean, back in the heyday of the ruffians, I mean, if we drank just the shots of whiskey, we would be dead. I mean, there'd be like 50 that would show up on stage,
Sure,
during a show.
yeah.
So that was one thing, for sure. Um, I still honestly have a real do-it-yourself attitude. I just can't help it. I'm
Well,
just,
obviously, if you're building the stage, I'm like that.
yeah.
That
I mean, I just made, we just made shirts. Like I'm into like, I just got my vinyl stickers back, buttons, new T-shirts, things, and I'm trying to get a screen made right now, so of my new logo, and I'll put them on canvas. So if people want to like make patches out of them or put them on their jacket, like I'm kind of doing that type of thing still. Um, and I just think as a musician, it's like you gotta figure out how to make it work all the time. So like that obviously is collaborative, but it's also do it yourself, and doing that in a modern world is always a challenge, right? So how do you make that all work? So um, I don't think my perspective as in coming up with that kind of music, I don't think it's changed so radically different.
yeah,
I've always been surprised at how many old punks now are like, wait a minute, it was smash the state, and now you're looking to the state. So for me, I'm still very much an anarchist at heart. I'm still very much like anarcho-capitalist kind of do it yourself. That's always been my perspective.
Yeah. So you must have some pretty decent skill. Like when you're like, I'm building my own stage, my immediate thought was I wouldn't trust anything I build to stand on. Like, is it just
We'll
all?
find out. You might see some video of me toppling over. I don't want to sound too confident or proud about it either.
You
We'll see
sounded pretty
what happens.
confident. You're like, man,
I've done a
uh,
lot. Yeah.
is
So
that
like
just
we
like
have an antique house. We have an antique
yeah?
house from the 1860s. So the back of it's like 45 feet high, and I had to get a lift, and I recreated like all of the dental molding, all of the corbels,
Oh
all of
wow,
yeah, I did all the like proper profiles, and this isn't something that like I've done professionally. I had to figure it out and be like, oh, what do I need? Oh, I need this router bit. Okay, I need this, or this guy can help me with this, and just all the things you do to make it piece together, right? Just
yeah.
just like
I mean,
it
it's that DIY spirit, like
totally is.
yeah,
I can't afford other like there's either failure or there's being able to afford it. So I usually can't afford it. So it's like, well, you got to get it made one way or the other. So
yeah.
you do it.
And so like I feel like a lot of that tends to carry over. Like part of the idea behind this is all us creative people have similar mentalities and like that. I'm gonna make it work. Like I'm just gonna figure it out.
Totally.
Um, was there something new that you had to kind of like figure out for this album? Like that you had to be like, oh, I gotta make this work
Yeah.
and
I mean, after playing with the same guys for decades, it was terrifying. Like walking in and I'm playing with some really amazing session players and things like that. So like we tracked everything live. So that was a big leap of faith, to just kind of have like two rehearsals and then like we're recording it live the next day. So that was
wow. Yeah.
that was definitely a bit of a thing. So I had to, for me, I had to do a lot of prep, just my best friend, from the Ruffians is my drummer, Jerome Morris. And I mean, he's like, I feel like he's perhaps an extension of what I do. We've been playing together so long with him on the drums. The drums are like the most important driving thing. So that was something for me, like just playing with a different drummer after, because he was also my former band. So like we've
Yeah.
worked together like well over 30 years plus years. So it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, a different drummer. This is weird. Yeah, so that was something. And also working with a proper producer. Like we kind of always figured it out on our own. And so like working as in a collaborative way with a producer was new for me, where someone's like really getting into my songs and being like, hey, what do you think about changing this? What do you think about that? You know what I mean? Where the
Yeah.
guys in the band, kind of like I bring it to them and they're like, okay, you know.
Did you have to like get kind of used to that? Like, did you feel like that? Because I feel like not having that and then going to that, you would just have a natural like pushback. Like, what do you mean? This is my song, kind of.
Yeah, there was. I had to definitely check that impulse. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And also, and a lot, and try to be open to the process and humble, and be like, okay, yeah, well, this guy obviously knows what he's doing. Let's see what he has to say. And sometimes we'd go down a path and we'd get like down to a certain point, and my gut might be like, I don't know about this, and maybe it would kind of shift back a different way, but it was a wonderful experience, and just kind of being open to that collaboration was nice and new and terrifying.
but I love that because it's so easy to just kind of stick with what you know,
Yeah.
and I love that kind of we are always like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, we'll see how it goes. And my thing is like, if it fails, I'm just like, never happened. And people are like, do you remember when nope, didn't happen.
The other thing that was familiar but different is when I was young and in college, I'd studied with a voice trainer.
Hmm.
Only probably ever had like 5 lessons, but he had a really like athletic approach, like physically like be in shape, vocally, and all that. And with the Ruffian shows, like they're usually like 3-hour shows, right?
Yeah.
So like St. Patrick's Day, I might do 3-hour shows, 9 hours of singing in a day. Like, so you got to be up for it. But I hadn't actually talked to him in probably like 30 years. And I reached out and I found him, and I actually trained like 3 months before doing the record. So like I was in top form. Like I was trying to be like, have an approach of like having it my stuff together, and I tried to do that. And I feel like it paid off. I mean, I was really happy about that as well. Just trying to get up to form, so I could do my best. That
Yeah.
was, I just didn't want to have excuses. So
Is part of it like working with those session musicians and the people that you were nervous to work with? You're like, well, I don't want to be the weak link.
totally. And no matter what I was going to do, the
Yeah.
reality is like, yeah, I probably was going to be no matter what. But it's the songs that carry. You know what I mean? Everyone has different gifts. So those guys, I also are great arrangers and all really good songwriters as well. But sometimes in those session situations, they're not always songwriters. These guys were. But so yeah, I wanted to just, in all the ways that I could do what I could do as best I could. I tried to, yeah, be ready.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I've kind of always looked to is no matter what I'm doing, whether it's like a business thing or an art thing, like I've always tried to get not even I don't like it's not really a mentor. It's like I find a friend that is better at it than me, and then like just kind of through osmosis and having that kind of like, well, I don't want to look bad in front of my friend, it just makes
Yeah,
they can't help but bring you along with for them, for the ride.
all day long. It really helps step up the play, no doubt. In a past life, I was a gymnast, right? So it was always the thing. It was like, you want to get really good. You work out with the good guys, and next thing you know, you just start like. So
Yeah.
I felt it was the same in that regard.
And then it's like you look back at where you were in the beginning and you're like, ugh, ugh. Do you ever look back at like old recordings and you're like,
Oh my
what was I doing?
gosh! All day. I had a sub had to sit in for some shows in March, and I'm like, the only thing I had of certain songs was like old recordings. So now I'm like comparing it to this like amazingly produced like new recording, and I'm listening to this old thing, and I'm like, he's in the car with me, and I'm like, I'm driving. I just wanted to die. I wanted to like climb into the seat and be like, oh my gosh. But you know what?
Yeah. And we're much
It's
better
part
now.
of it's part of my story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully you can see growth and improvement, right? That's all you
Nice.
can ever do in life.
Uh, is there going to be a record launch? And I'm assuming this can be vinyl for this.
So I just got 1,000 CDs delivered to my house yesterday. I'm trying, I do want to do a run of vinyl. I also want to make sure I don't have like 500 vinyl at my home and living there. I'm trying to, feel kind of temper the need
Yeah.
and the interest level too. If you have any really good cheap vinyl printers, let me know who you like. But that's kind of where,
I don't, but listeners, feel free to reach out. I don't have a
yeah,
vinyl guy. I'm usually
yeah.
like the guy who's got always the guy. Um, I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah.
that's interesting. Yes, that's good to know. Yeah, so that kind of thing. I'm looking around. I've gotten a couple pricing both sides. There's a company in Poland, but right now, if I try to bring something in with the tariffs and stuff, it just jacks the
Oh,
price.
we had so
It's not
many
the same.
issues with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing. I was trying to get some nice, cool rugby shirts done with the logo on it, and it was like, oh, this is going to be tougher now. So those things happen,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I just got a new. It's so funny. Like, I was so excited. I got a new screen print guy, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God, it's like $4 cheaper a shirt. And, I'm like, I was very excited. And he's just like, yeah, he's like, I used to work for that place. He's like, I don't know why they were charging so much. And, it's
that's cool.
it's all the
Who are you
behind the
who are you
scenes.
using now?
They are called Nocturnal Print in Plymouth. So
Oh, awesome. Good for
yeah,
you.
super good dude, local guy. Just you see him around town, and so many
That's
people like
great.
you should check him out. And then after a while, it's just like I should reach out. And then you have that moment where you're like, why did I not listen to people sooner? You know?
Yes. Sometimes we're slow learners. Yeah, people tell me the things it takes me many times for it to
Yeah.
think in.
You said your wife is scheduling the tour, or you said something about dates and that your wife would be mad.
Well, you know what I mean. You have these opportunities of an interview, and she'd be like, "You should have had it like right next to you." You know what I mean, like kind of thing.
Oh, just general,
That that
just general
supporting.
supportive.
Oh, please, I'd be homeless without her. But no, she's been
Yeah,
helping piece some things together with the tour. It's been great. And yeah, it's been coming together, and I'm hoping we'll get it all sorted. Trying to get over to London too, and Ireland, and do some shows there too.
Nice. I'm assuming you've been there before.
So I was in London back in October. I did some shows over there, and but it's been a long time since Ireland. I haven't done anything in Ireland since like '99, so
Wow.
2000s.
I've
Yeah,
never been to Ireland. I've been to London. I had a great time. Ireland, and I feel like New Zealand are like the two places that I want to like go to. Um,
I totally feel that. Yes.
yeah, New Zealand is more like that. It's just I don't know if I want to be in like a plane that long. I mean, England
Yeah,
was long enough. So
yeah, it's tricky. I guess go from Hawaii.
yeah, I guess. But then you got to get there. So when you tour abroad like that, do you just like rent equipment over there or borrow it?
I
Or
mean,
I can't imagine you bring it
when I
all
was
with you.
just there when I was just there in London, I was pretty lucky. There's an Irish scene, and a friend had loaned me his an acoustic guitar. So, and a lot of the venues had sound systems, so
Oh,
that kind of
nice,
worked out.
nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, so that kind of worked. But if I was doing it a lot, probably what I would do is buy gear and leave it in a storage facility or something like
oh,
that.
for sure, that would make sense. And yeah, okay. And it's always interesting. I interviewed now it's like 6 7 years ago. They've grown, but this band called the Elevators, and they were talking about like their early tours, like where they just had like kind of like between a van and a bus kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, like three of us have gym memberships at one of the national chains. And so they're like, so, we have like the VIP, so we can bring the other members of the band in for like showers and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's that, again, that DIY thing is like just making it work on however we can get it done. And
Totally. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get one, but I mean, even with, touring, I was like looking one day and I was, for an hour of research, I was like, I'm going to get one of these self-driving Teslas and, you can keep it off and keep it at like a camping level. So even in the wintertime, and like it'll keep the heat at a certain thing and you can like have an inflatable mattress that fits in with the seat. I'm like, that'd be,
oh, yeah.
I'm not do it, but it seemed like a perfect solution for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they have like a dog setting too, so it doesn't get too hot. You can leave your dog in the car, but I'm like, just don't do that. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So the album's gonna drop, album release, hopefully a tour. It's like, what's next? Are you gonna
So
like other?
I have a traditional Irish record I actually did do. So that's kind of funny because, it's like I've always done this Irish kind of thing and now I'm sending out solo stuff and I was also trying to, have the solo stuff to be able to get on some Irish festivals, right? Just
Yeah,
to kind of even things out. And then they were like, "Well, do you have any like could you send us an example of that?" So I went in with a friend producer, really great guy, Kevin Salem, and we banged out what was supposed to be like just an EP, and now it's like up to I think like 8 or 9 songs. It's probably just going to be a record, but it was very cool
oh
because
cool.
we did it all live with like a mic, and I had a couple traditional players. We all were just in a circle, no overdubs, no auto tune. We recorded it like it was a record from the '60s,
Oh,
and
nice.
that was great. So I'll have that out at some point. So
Yeah.
that'll probably be the next thing. Um,
Do you it's so funny because everyone thinks like South Boston and south of Boston as being a very Irish community,
yeah,
and you probably hear Irish music 3 nights a year. The day before St. Patty's
yes,
Day, maybe the day after. But there's always been like I just don't like whiskey in the jar. Like that song, I just
I
don't
understand.
feel like. Do you have that where you're like, I don't want to play this song, but like I feel compelled to? It's the
All day.
it's the wagon wheel problem.
That informed all of our experience in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we came up, listening to certain things. Obviously, you're around it long enough, and you get some appreciation. But my initial, when we were starting the Ruffians, my knee jerk reaction was, I'm not going to do that patty whack stuff. Was kind of the
yeah,
perspective. I'm not going to do just that kind of like patty whack stuff, and so we tried to forge our own thing. So you always are collecting songs, right? So you collect other songs that you're like, well, I really like that song, or I really like this one. So I
Yeah.
tried to do one that I felt like I really liked, or enjoyed or loved, like at least for that collection. But 100%, you got to get through a 3 hour show. People come up and they ask things like, "What are you going to say?" Like, "No, I hate that song," and you know, if someone comes up and says, "That's my favorite song. Would you mind doing it?" Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you hear it times over almost 30 years. You're probably going to have some version that you can stomach.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah. And I love when people kind of take a song and like really make it their own. It's like in my mind, covers should be two things. Either almost exactly how the song should be or a total departure. So I kind of like that vibe when it comes to like some more popular songs, but it's just sometimes you just like, although this past Patty's Day, the guy, one of the bars I was hanging out in, the guy was covering the Pogues. I think it was Dirty Old Town,
mm,
and he made it upbeat. And I'm like, I feel like you're missing the point, man. Like that is not how that song should, Like I don't want to be like gatekeepery, but like it just it didn't sound right. The Pogues in general
yeah.
aren't.
You never know what you're going to get, right? I mean, I feel like I do versions of songs that, like, I felt like we do a version of a song called "Never Will Marry," right?
Mhm.
And it's kind of like more like a waltz, and I came across it in an old songbook. Like I when we started the band, I bought a little book, Irish songbook, opened it, never heard a recording, saw the melody, saw the words, and I was just like, oh, this could be a punk song. So I just like banged it out on the piano. All right, here's the melody, and we did a version of it. Banged it. It was going years and years, and then finally someone was just kind of like, "Is that song?" Because and then I finally actually heard it after a long time. I found out Joan Baez had done a version, and it was just so radically different. But we made it more into like an anthem, so I felt it really worked. I'm sure some people might listen to it and be like, "What did you do to this song?"
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm with you. Kind of like the John Cage, like some of his old piano pieces. He'd have a fan going of a classical piece, and someone would be blowing a fan, and it would kind of turn, and he'd just kind of play what he saw. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah,
so like you could have like you could take it to that like post classical music kind of perspective, or you can obviously do a beautiful rendition. To me, it's all equal in a way.
yeah, yeah. It's the ones that can't commit to either side of that I just feel like don't quite hit. You know, it's where they're trying to be true to the original, but trying to make it their own. It's that kind of you have to quote Yoda, you either have to do or don't do. Like
Yeah,
if you try to like end it in the middle, it just doesn't quite work.
agreed.
Yeah.
So, so
Um.
now tell me about your work.
Geez, man. So my job I have found is incredibly hard to explain. So we do the podcasts. We have four different shows, but I have turned hanging out at bars and breweries into a profession. So
Oh,
we're
cool.
like the people they bring in on slow nights for like different types of entertainment. There's like classes and workshops, but we do comedy shows and we're getting into like music promotion now. And we did so this past weekend in Boston was PAX East, the big video game convention.
Wow.
So at Castle Island Brewery in Southie, we hosted retro video game nights. So we would set up like five different monitors with, like an Atari, Nintendo, a Sega, and all these different.
Hey, how's it going?
Sorry, can you hang on 1 second?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
No, no, buddy.
Oh, no worries.
So, man, it's fine. I'm glad I found you. Just need your name.
Crystal.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, man.
I'm so sorry about that. I knew that
Oh,
was going to
you never know
happen.
when your bookie shows up, he shows up.
Dude, it's yeah, man. I've had the biggest nightmare with UPS in this
Oh,
location,
yeah.
and like to the point where I was on the phone with a manager earlier today, and they're like, "No, they're definitely going to be delivering the package today." And I'm like, it's going to be during the recording. I know it's going to be during the recording. Sure enough. Oh, yeah. So, Castle Island, we brought in a bunch of different video game systems and different games and like party games, multiplayer stuff. We somehow got listed on some website as an after party. And
Ah,
so we had a huge turnout. It was a lot. It was really fun. So,
great.
yeah.
Very cool.
And then last year we launched into booking some music stuff. So this summer we have some punk gigs that we're booking. So if someone happened to be going on tour, maybe we'll talk after the recording. But
I'm available.
yeah, so we did last year. We called it Putt Putt Punk. We
Oh,
brought
fun.
3 punk bands onto a mini golf course. And I always tell people, I'm like, it's just the right kind of stupid. I don't know why it works, but it works.
I
And
like it.
it was great. And so this year we're doing like a little mini tour. I was hoping to have a few more locations, but I'm like, I'll take it.
That's great. Yeah, for a while I was really enjoying like shows at like roller derbies.
That's so funny that you say that. One of the locations that we just, the location that we did last year, just had a roller derby there. And so I went by, I'm like, bro, like, how do we make this all happen at the same time and like really make a festival thing? And so, scheduling wise, I don't think we can make it happen, but maybe next year. But they're like, we're gonna show up at the concert anyways. I'm like, bring your roller skates. I'll give you a tent space, and because roller
Awesome.
derby's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I like watching it. I can't roller skate and I don't like getting hurt. But other than that, break my hands, I can't play guitar. But other than
Yeah.
that, it's great.
Uh,
I like all of it. I love the
uh,
names. I like the whole like this group versus that group. It's amazing.
the
It's
names
amazing.
I think hit that dad joke nerve in me where I'm like, I love that name. That's great. But I will agree. I think I got a little overzealous. It is great to watch. My knees would not allow me to do it. Yeah, but I remember the first time I went to see it, a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, we're gonna go see roller derby," and it was in Rhode Island at the time, and like we kind of made fun of him the whole way, and be like, "Oh, I can't believe you're dragging us to see the stupid derby." And within the first, what do they call them? The first jam, I think is what they call them. We were like hooked. We're like, these people are so competitive and working so hard, and they're not getting it. Like this is
Oh,
beyond amateur athlete. Like they're not getting paid. They're not. No one really respects what you're doing. It was they were hardcore, man. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. I always seemed a little Mad Max to me.
for sure. Yeah, and just they don't hold back. Like and oh, people's hands are getting rolled over, and yeah, yeah.
Well, if you put together a show, let me know.
I will. I fell down walking across the street, so I won't be on roller skates anytime soon. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like the early days of like playing fight clubs and things like that. We'd have to do those too. And
Was that a real? I just assumed that are like fight clubs a real thing?
underground fight clubs were a thing. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I was familiar with the movie, but I never got involved in such things.
So, but yeah, it's amazing where people will, if there's an opportunity to play music, it's nowadays just seems to incorporate so many cross cultural opportunities and things for sure.
Yeah, we even have out here something that's gotten like really, really popular is her name's Leandra and she runs this thing and it's called the Punk Rock Flea Market. And she'll go to a brewery and kind of like just take over the whole place. And it'll be all kinds of like weird, eclectic, there'll be vinyl dealers, but then there'll be a guy selling, animal skulls and,
Yeah.
some other dude selling comics and someone else making, upcycled shirts from, they'll buy shirts and silk screen other things onto them. It's very punk rock and it pulls a huge crowd.
And will they have bands too?
They do have bands. Yeah.
That's fun.
I think her husband has a band, but I can probably put you in touch. So I know she does it a few times a year. We're gonna put your whole tour together right now.
The best call I've had all week. Thank you.
what's do you have like a range? Like, what's the furthest you're like? I know you said you're going overseas, but like
I mean,
state wise.
to be honest with you, so for me, I've kind of always really tried to run it like kind of like working class perspective, right? So for me, that always meant coming home with money. Like, I've always tried to do it and have it be sustaining. So usually within 5, 6 hours of home is
Yeah.
kind of what I've done. So like, I'll drive down and do a gig in DC, play for drive down from New York, play 3 hours, jump in the car, drive right back. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like.
that's wow. That's a ride.
It is,
Yeah.
same thing with Ohio. I've like literally driven out, done Columbus, Dayton, come back the same day. So yeah, it's tough. I'd rather piece a bunch of things together, but
Yeah.
also sometimes, especially when you're bringing a band out, you start adding up like hotel rooms and
Hotel
this and
rooms are easily the most expensive thing.
it is.
Yeah.
And, um, you rent an Airbnb. Next thing you do, you have a pop up show. 400 people are in the backyard. You set the house on fire. It never ends. But,
Yeah, kind of.
no, yeah, but that kind of, yeah. So, it's not that I don't want to do more. It's just kind of, you start off and you kind of, branch out. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to start getting a foot in London a little bit and kind of start branching out. I'd like to get over and do Manchester if I could, and next time around to kind of start getting out a little bit more. Liverpool and Glasgow, Edinburgh.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
That, that's pretty
Where
cool.
can people go to find out more? All the PR stuff that you PR people wants us to touch base on.
Oh yes, well, my website is SeanGriffin.rocks. So that's easy enough to remember. Sean SeanGriffin.rocks. And obviously I'm on all the streaming kind of platforms and things like that. And always encourage people please to sign up for the email list. It really I
See,
don't
smart man.
bombard people. I don't bombard people with it, but all of these platforms, they're going to disappear at different times. So,
Hmm.
so it's so important to try to keep that connection going with people that I like, that I meet at shows. It's always the best way to do it, really. If people can they don't mind. And again, I don't abuse them with too many emails. You'll be lucky if you get one a month. But
I always tell
yeah,
people I have a monthly email that goes out quarterly.
that's exactly it. That couldn't be more the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of it. I'm obviously in Instagram. Whatever my Instagram handle is, I should know that as well. But yeah, it's all of those things are helpful. A good way to kind of stay in touch. Yeah, so for me, that's just Griffin.Sean. So it's easy enough. But yeah, I'm just those are the most straight ahead places and on YouTube and all those silly platforms. But
Yeah.
I'm just so tired of all of us just having to pump these things.
It never stops. I mean, more than half of what I do is posting, and I see my friends. I have a buddy who's got a pizza shop, and he's just cranking out these promo videos, and he's doing a phenomenal job because they're super funny. But
Oh, cool. What's
it's
the name of his
just
place?
The Edge.
The Edge. Cool.
Yeah, he first started doing them, and he's like, "Come down, eat some fucking pizza, blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, buddy, I don't know." And so one day I'm like, "Are you getting pushback?" He's like, "A little bit." He's like, "But not." He's like, "People still here getting pizza." So, and I'm like, that's good. Be you. And I think that's if you're genuine, and he's a genuinely likable guy, people, everybody swears. So
Yeah. I try to curb it, but yes, I can't help it. It's probably my most natural language.
yeah, oh for sure. So people are mad. April 17th. Run down to your local record store and pick up the CD.
Yes.
Sean, thank you for coming on. And listeners, we'll catch you guys again next week.
Thank you so much, Andy, for having me. It was a pleasure, and I'm sure we'll talk offline here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to throw some dates your way. So cool.
Awesome. Appreciate it,
Awesome.
man. Be well. Enjoy this early spring. or late spring or whatever.
I swear to God, every time I get in my car, it's fucking snowing, and I'm losing my mind over here. Like it.
We are ready. We are ready. This has been rough in the north.
Ugh, it's been so bad. So, but better things. Springtime's here.
Absolutely. So. Thank you, man.
Yep.
I really appreciate it. Take care. We'll stay in touch.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.